Okay, I thought I would show you, and usually I have this, this old board. And let me pick it up off of here. See if I can just do this. Now, this is just masking tape. You can use whatever kind of low tack tape that you may have. Oh, if you don't have low tack tape, you know, low tape that's not super sticky. Masking tape is usually not super sticky. So, that's what I have here. I was trying to get pieces. This is pretty old, and it constantly wants to rip on me. There we go. Trying to get some pieces long enough. And I'm trying to make the border all the way around about the same size. And this does two things. First off, if I'm going to get some water on this, and so it will help with it not getting all callywhompered, you know, and when you get something wet, it always, yeah, it does that kookly thing. Oh my God. It wrinkles up. How's that? It gets distorted, and it's, let me flip this around this way. Okay, so it does that. And then the second thing that it does is it actually makes a border so that the pieces that are underneath this tape will not get color, hopefully, as long as it's not too low tack. Low tack standing for stickiness. And you see now this top piece is really not even sticking to the paper. So I'm going to switch it out, because that was the first bit. Let me just get this. There we go. And there we go. All right. Okay. So I have created a little bit of green. I've still got my blue, and I've left, you know, I've got my orange and my yellow still. All I got to do is add a little water to that, and that I can use that. I don't have to use any more of this. I am going to, this is a bicycle, and then I've got my verbiage, and I have this heart. Now this heart I'm going to stamp onto another sheet of paper, and it's going to be put on here with foam dots or something. So we'll get to that. But, so I'm going to try and create a scene here. So I'm just brushing on some water real quick. And now I'm getting some green. And I'm just kind of brushing that along just to get some grass. Okay. Yeah, just a little bit. And I'm just going to pick up some of it. Okay, and I'm going to rinse this off. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of the blue. I brought in a lot of water, and I'm going to wash the blue. And I don't want the mix. So I'm going to dry that off and bring some blue back. There we go. Now if I kind of tap this in funky ways, I can make myself some clouds in the blue sky, which I think is really cool. And so it's got a little bit of a play between the green and the blue, but I didn't get it so close the second time that it pulled into each other. Just gonna kind of tap away some of that really bright green. Okay, so I'm going to dry this now, and then we're going to come back and do some stamping. So I'm going to let you see if it worked or not. We're going to take off. I had a little bit of bleeding. See right there, a little bit of bleeding underneath the tape. And that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It's the nature of watercolor. There you go. But it's still pretty cool where I kind of got the grass and the trees. I mean, and the you know, kind of a green pasturey area and some interesting sky. And then your nice little border around. Okay, so now I'm going to take my nice bicycle and I'm going to prop it right up in the front here. Let me get it on my stamp. Now this is dry, so I can come in with my VersaFine, but you can totally do this with the archival. If all you have is archival, you can do this with all of this with the archival. I just am kind of wanting it to be a little darker. Actually, you know what? I think for this one, let's see. Am I going to do any more water? I don't think so. I don't think so. So we'll just do it with my VersaFine. Okay. This is such a fine lined thing. Let me take the hardboard out. So I'm stamping with my little stamper. I'm going to take this off of the slightly, because it's a red stamp, so you can't always tell where you are. I'm going to try and keep it actually on the green. Okay. And don't drop it like I did. What are you going to do? It's the little stuff, right? That's what makes it handmade. I know it looks like I'm pushing really hard, but I'm not. I'm putting some pressure on there, but I'm not like killing it. Oh, look how cute! Look how cute! Love it. Probably would have been alright to bring the sky down even further, but that's okay. I am not worried about it. It's very, very cute. And then I have my verbiage here. I have a grid on the backs of my... Some people buy... this is Stampin' Up!, a Stampin' Up! Block. I love these because I have a place for my fingers, okay? But when I bought mine, they weren't putting grids on them, so they sold these little cling things that you can put on one side that puts a grid on there. So when I have the grid, on the opposite side of where the grid is, I line my verbiage up so that I'm as straight as my grid is, so that when I put it down, as long as my grid is straight with the paper, I'm not crooked, stamping it crooked. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Now I'm going to put this over here in this corner because I want my little heart over here. And again, I'm going to get my VersaFine. There we go. Oops. Now let's not drop this one. That might be a little crooked. But it's okay. As my girlfriend says I do, irritatingly I say, it's all good, when it's really not. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside a little bit. And I want to stamp my heart. Now I've got to do this with archival ink, but I think you're going to see a little bit of a difference because I am going to put some watercolor on here, but this is not watercolor paper, so I think you're going to notice a little bit of difference in darkness. Let's see. So I'm going to stamp this. I don't have to leave it down quite so long. Yeah, see, that's a much darker print on a regular white piece of paper compared. Okay, now this is the archival. I want to give it a second to set, and then I'm going to give it a wash of, I wish I had red, but I don't. Maybe I'll just do it in this as bright orange as I can get and call it good. Where's my little brush? Here's my little brush. Okay. I just want to make sure that it's good and dry. Good and dry. There we go. So I basically just painted that on, like, you know, didn't really care that it was watercolor paper. Just trying to put a little sparkle in there. Now I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to cut around it. And I'm going to let it dry naturally because this, if I heat set this, it'll really make it warp. And I don't want it. I want it to be nice and flat. And this will dry pretty quick. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I've got this done, and I went back and I took some of the same orange and I did the two little hearts. Oh, I see there's one more little heart. So let me see. I can... I'm being really careful because I did not paint that, stamp that with the archival. I stamped it with the VersaFine, which it seems to be doing all right. It does not seem to be bleeding or anything. Okay. So, now what I want to do is, you know, these little hearts are attached by these little squiggly lines. Now, I have a micron pen. You can get a whole set of these, all different sizes. I believe I got these at Hobby Lobby, and I used a 40% off coupon. I think there was like 5 or 6 pens in there. And it's a super thing to have. And I think regularly they're about 20 bucks, but you get a 40% off coupon. You know, maybe ask them for Christmas or for your birthday or something. They're not cheap, but they're so worth having because you can do so many little things with them. Anyway, so what I'm doing is, these have got like little squigglies and little dots, and I'm just going to kind of carry this up like this. And I'm going to put a little squiggly in there. And come around here and a little loop-de-loop. and up around here and up there. Okay, and this is just going to be a little squiggly right there, and I'm going to put dot, 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 kind of make them a little bigger and then a little smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. There we go. Nice. And then I'm going to have my heart come right off of the line like it's attached, like it's a balloon. Isn't that cute? Okay. So that is that card. I'm going to pop that up on Pop Dots. Now I'm going to get the card bases and be back with all of them, and I'm going to clean up. Okay, so for this one I cut some paper out of my Penny Black, and so you know your card base is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper cut in half. And it depends on which way you cut in half. I have both ways cut in half this time, but so this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 makes your A2 card, and then you cut a 1/4 inch. I mean, sorry, an 1/8 of an inch smaller to a 1/4 of an inch smaller, whatever makes your boat float, to get a piece of paper that is going to give you a nice little border, and then a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/4 of an 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch smaller, your actual art piece that you're putting on the top of this. Now what I'm doing is right in the corners, not too far into the corner, and I'm just going to punch a little hole. This is just a little pokey tool. I got this at a garage sale, I think, but you can get these at hardware stores. You can get them at different kind of places. Hardware stores, craft stores. Trying to think of someplace else you could get that might not be a normal place, but I can't think of it right now. Okay, and then normally, these are just little teeny brads, okay? I mean little teeny ones. And normally you would open up and split it evenly, you know, one on one side, one on the other. I am going to turn it in so that they're facing the center of my card, and I'm going to just push both of them down. Okay, so that will give you like that, and then I take a little bit of tape and I just make sure my tape doesn't go over the edges, and I tape it down. Doesn't have to, it's just, you know, you're just holding it because it's a card. You're just holding it in place. So you do that with all of these. I tell you, my fingers don't work very well, like as well as they used to. Okay, bend this over, and I'm just going to do all 4 of these, and then I'll put some tape on them. Get a good bend in there. And then I'm going to take my liquid pearl, and I'm going to put onto the end of these brads so that they're the same color as her hair and everything else. So that's why I did this one first. Okay. Oh. It's always a good idea to have tape in your room. Okay, so we have this. I'm just going to bend this around a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And if for this kind of thing, any kind of glue is going to work. I'm using my Elmer's Extreme, but I mean, this is, you know, just kind of cardstocky stuff. I'm not using really thin paper. All of this is cardstock, so I would say, you know, you could go ahead and just use your Elmer's Glue All. I don't like the school glue, but the Glue All is okay. This is my favorite. It's not that expensive. I got it for $3. And let's see, let me get this centered. $3.49, I think, at Hobby Lobby. And of course, you can use your 40% off coupon on there if you are so inclined to do. I mean, I get, when they have a coupon in the newspaper, I stop by all my neighbors' houses. Do you mind if I have your newspaper if you're done with it? Or at least I asked for that section, because it seems like it's the Sunday paper. And a lot of my neighbors don't get papers, but they'll get the Sunday paper. They don't get it through the week because they don't have time to read it. But okay, and then this one is going to get glued right on here. And again, I'm going to use the same glue. Get down there. About to run out. I use this for almost everything. You do want to have, now if you've got your watercolor paper really buckling, you could put some double-sided tape on there. Okay. Oops. I did not want that to look like it was not facing the right way. Let me get... There we go. Just gave it a little squeeze with my tweezers. Probably should have done that before, but it didn't mess anything up. But just giving it a little squeeze with my tweezers gave it a better bend in it than anything I could have done with my fingers. You know, having metal on metal. There we go. Just have to kind of hold that down for a minute or two, and then we should be good. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, now before you ever use this, pretty much any time, you want to squeeze some of it out and just get a nice, make sure you don't have a big blow up or anything. And then I just want to put that on there. I don't want to get anything on anything else. Oh, that was good. Dork. I'm just kind of pushing it around so I can try and get it all over so you can't tell that it's silver. Okay. Clean this off, clean me off. Now, again, find a good place. Now, if we kind of beat on this, it will make those little so you kind of from underneath snap it. and it makes them not be quite so curly Q. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side and let that dry while we go over the rest of them. Okay, so my next one. Boy, this one really took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do. Now this is really thin origami paper, but it was the blue that I liked. And this I cut the paper down, you know, long ways, and then cut it in half. So 5.5, I mean not cut it, I scored it at 5.5, okay? So, but I don't want to put wet glue on this because this origami paper will basically just turn into mush. Now, I don't know, I haven't actually used this in a long time. Let me, okay, so I'm going to have to put it on this, I think. Okay, so anytime you have really thin paper, if you have a double-sided tape that you can put on there instead of putting wet glue down, you're going to end up with a much better product. And anytime you end up with little white fuzz balls, just pull them off or cut them off. Okay, so see, and I have this going longer than wider, which is fine with me because I like the look that it's going to give me going longer than wider. Alright, so there's that. And then this, I think I'm gonna, yeah, right about there. Be right back. Okay, and I think I'm going to pop this up on, I had to get some of these out because I couldn't find them. Pop these up on Pop Dots. And I probably use more of these than I need to. These are Stampin' Up. They call them dimensionals. But, I mean, you can get these any place, and you can get them very reasonable. You can even make your own with foam, you know, the kids' foam, and glue that on, you know, to each side of your, you know, you could take a whole sheet of foam that's a little bit smaller than this, and glue it to this, and then glue it to this. And that works. Or you can make little strips or little dots or whatever. Okay, there's all of that off. And there we go. I think I'm going to use these on one of the other cards. So I'm going to leave them out. And I also pulled these out. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll do... Sorry if I moved the camera. Sorry! I think I'll do... a couple there. And... I think I'll do... 2 there. So there we go. Okay, so there's that one. Now this one is the other one that I was going to use the Pop Dots or dimensionals, whatever you want to call them. Okay. And I'm going to put this where it's right at the end of that string. And hanging off the edge. There we go. Cute. And then I am going to glue this down. When you're doing glue, I know a lot of times, you know, you start in the corner and you move around, but especially, you know, if you want to get the flow started and then go to your corners, so that then you're not spewing large amounts out on your corners. Sometimes that works better, especially when it's like this and not a small tip. Okay, now this is Basil Basics, and it's called Candy Necklace. I love this color. Just love it. And I wanted this to be a little lower. Let me get this. A little lower down here. Oops. Then up here. But I do want it to be straight. Okay. See, this stuff grabs pretty quick. There we go. There we go. That's a pretty color. I love that. Okay, and then last, I've got this, and I had to cut some down so I could get, this is this Basil Basic as well. Candy Necklace, weird, but I love the color. So that really looks nice on this. And I cut the sides down. So I have these, and I'm going to put some glue on there. And I'm going to line these up because they are very pretty. All of this watercolor that we did on the flowers. Well, I did. You watched. Again, thanks for all the help. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, cards are still not one of my favorite things, but I thought that this kind of going back to basics and just not doing anything with, everybody does cards right now these days with their die cuts and all their fancy machines and capabilities and stuff, and I thought, you know what, just for the person that doesn't have much, is just getting started, I will do this card series. And it's making me, and isn't that pretty? It's making me, and I'm just gluing this right down. I don't think it needs anything else. I might put a few little blings, just since I have them out. But this is all stuff that was in my stash. And it's making cards that I do need to have on hand for different things. So I do, it is good exercise for me to still be making cards and putting my mind to work on not going out and buying all of the new stuff that they've got coming out, you know, and just kind of going back to basics. And I really like that idea of doing this. And I mean, how simple this was with just a few colors and you know, a few pieces of paper. This is, you know, and I get the stamp set once a month, and this is making me use the stamp set. And I enjoy using these stamps in my journals so much. And but this is just another way of me being able to use these. Okay, so let's see. Do I like green, orange? Yeah, I kind of like filling this void here. So let's see. Whoops. Here we go. And about centered. I'll move it up. Holy Hannah. I said that the other day at my mom and I were at the thrift store, and we picked something up and about 3 things fell off the shelf, and I said, "Oh, holy Hannah," and the lady turned around, she goes, "I haven't heard that in years." Well, oh, I say it all the time because I'm screwing things up all the time. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's see what this looks like with just 3. Let me see. Do I want to put another one? I think it's going to be 5. Magic number. Do I have that all straight? That one's up a little too high. There we go. There. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this month's installment. Now, don't look crazy for last month's. I did not get it done last month. I just didn't do any. So don't be crazy looking for what I did last month, because it didn't happen. Sorry. Let me just back out, and I will take some shots of these and have at the end. I think my good friend over at APG, Jamie, she calls it her photo montage. I love that. I hope you're going over and checking out her channel for the kit that we've got that she won. And she's doing her own take on the kit. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.